Apart from that, when we talk about dietary iron intake, they are deficient. Most of their dietary iron intake, is not up to the recommended dietary allowance that is required from them. So even most parents cannot even afford it. But there are other alternatives. For instance, we have iron in beans. If they cannot afford to be taking meat, fish regularly in such a quantity that will meet their body needs, but we have the likes of beans. But the challenge is that the iron in beans is ferric, and that iron our body cannot utilize it except in the presence of vitamin C, and you can only get that vitamin C from fruits like oranges and pawpaw and the likes. So it is when you take vitamin C foods like oranges, pawpaw, mangoes, and the likes, that is when the beans, the iron in beans can be converted to ferrous. That is when our body can actually utilize the iron in the beans. So that is another option. So I suggest strongly that parents, caregivers, especially in hostels, they should endeavor to deworm their adolescents or teenagers regularly. They should also endeavor to give them iron-rich foods. And if they cannot afford the iron, the ferrous iron we have in the likes of meat, fish, because of the cost of and the harsh economy, they can take the beans and supplement it with oranges, and they will prepare it in such a way that it will be attractive to these children. Some of them, they don't like beans, but you can incorporate it in other diets like rice. You can make rice and beans. You can convert it to the likes of man, bean cake. It will be attractive to them. So, and you also include fruits in this, to encourage the optimum utilization of the iron.
To allow the body to develop properly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Very eloquent. Madam, I'm beginning to wonder if I shouldn't have converted to be a nutritionist. Because, or maybe, okay, in a lifetime, probably I should have married a nutritionist. So, let's look at the diet therapy. What can you say about diet therapy?
Well, diet therapy is an act that is very, very essential. In diet therapy, we ensure that we maintain the nutritional status of individual. What do I mean by that? The nutritional status, if in a good state, we use diet therapy to maintain it so that there will not be any fallout.
How do you measure that?
Well, we have so many parameters to measure that. We have ABC of nutrition. ABC of nutrition is what we carry out on our patients or our clients in order to at least to some level ascertain their nutritional status. For example, the A means anthropometry measurements. We measure ranging from their abdominal, we want to know whether they have abdominal.
The waist-hip ratio.
So we measure the waist, we measure the hip. We have some calculations and
BMI.
The way we refer those values obtained to standard for us to know whether the person is having the condition. We have the BMI, we have biochemical assessments where we ask them to do very few tests. We use that to confirm what we have seen in anthropometry. We can also use clinical method. In this, we check for clinical signs. Maybe we can ask you to bring out your tongue. We look at the angular stomatitis around the mouth. We look at your fingers, nails. We look at your color of your eyes. We look at whether you have bitter spots inside the eyes and so many other things like that.
Let me take you up.
Okay.
All these things look elitist, and because not until an average citizen is sick, that's and the sickness will have developed to a stage that, yes, only God can help. That is when all these things will not be discovered.
Yes.
How can we elitist this issue? How can we make nutritionists available, or how can we be giving information to an average citizen so that they cannot be able to tap into all this? How do you advise the family?
Well, we advocate more on nutrition education, maybe on here as we are today. We can organize some nutrition education program like that. Number two, we want to advocate, even at this point, that our government should employ more nutritionists and dietitians in every sphere of life where they are needed. So when they are available, I believe they will perform their function. And their function might not be seen immediately. It's a gradual thing. But over the time, or over the years, we will see that most of all this chronic problem will be alleviated because people will be rightly guided and they will have informed choices about their food, about their lifestyles, do's and don'ts, which will not allow them to run into most of these chronic problems. You can imagine, it was in the past that we say diabetes mellitus, hypertension are diseases of the aged. These days, we see it among children, among the teenagers. So there is a slogan in nutrition that you become what you eat. What you eat is exactly what you become.
But that's why they understand. That's why they have the knowledge.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that the society can be helped by employing more nutritionists and dietitians where necessary. Public advocacies and education like this can be coming up to enlighten the general public and individuals, most especially. See, train a woman, you have trained the whole family. Most especially for women of childbearing age. Taking cognizance of our children's nutrition is like building the whole nation because they become our future. And nutrition has prospects in every children's life.
Not just children alone.
Yes, because I know that
even the old man doesn't want to die.
You know, like there are some problems that have been established in elderly that they only needed management. But in children that it has not developed, there is a preventive measure or preventive way of life which will not even allow that to come into being, and we live longer and healthier.
Well, I'm getting more interested. I'm getting more interested in the issue. Madam,
Yes, sir.
the nutritionist and corporate organizations or food processing organizations or food and food technology environment, how are they helping organizations, companies to grow and giving the needs that is required for humanity?
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Well, what we do in nutrition, we carry out research and we bring the results of the research, we take it to all these food processing companies. For instance, when you look at our noodles, you will see that there are logo of all these household consumable items like sugar, like salt, like vegetable oil, like semovita or flour, all-purpose flour. You will see when you look at the package, you see that there are logo, for instance, eye logo. That eye logo signifies that that particular product has been fortified with vitamin A to help the populace, to help the masses. Then others, you will see they write it there fortified with iodine. You see in the like iodine salts. There are some that are fortified with, apart from iodine, there are some that are fortified with iron, just to help these poor and the less privileged. Then I want to add my voice to what my colleague has just said. You know, I want to suggest strongly that we should endeavor to take nutrition to people in the grassroots. You know, going to mosques, going to churches and markets. Let's do this. Let's publicize nutrition. Let's tell them the what to eat. Let's inform them the menace and what are the dangers of choosing wrong diets, especially all these highly processed foods. They are the ones that are leading to massive chronic ailments in our society, and it is taking lives. So let's endeavor to talk to them. Nobody would like to die. Nobody would like to die. So when we tell them that these are the implications of all this heavily processed food, then also we should also inform the food processing company that they should eliminate certain additives, in processing their food. The likes of bacon now, they add red coloring, tetrazine, to enhance the appearance, to enhance it, to make it appear attractive, but then it is carcinogenic. Also, when you look at our juice, all these juice, ordinarily, when you take fruit juice, with they need to preserve it, they need to increase the shelf life, for in the course of storage. So they will now add small quantity of preservative. Ordinarily those preservatives in the right proportion, is still okay within a tolerable.
How do we avoid all these chemicals and going local or natural, so to say?
Well, we have to encourage our people and let them see the need why they have to buy raw food materials around us. We have ready perishable items, the likes of fruits, vegetable, spinach, and the likes. Let's tell them how they can, obtain the maximum value in these food items. So let's tell them. So when they know that all these additives, they are poisonous to our body system finds it hard to digest, to them. Some of them, they end up causing chronic ailments. They affect the organs in the body. So that is why you see many people today, all of a sudden somebody has developed kidney ailments, liver ailments, and the likes, because of the accumulation of all these toxins in the body.
Well, I'm getting more surprised. Nutrition and allergies. How can an average citizen understand that this particular food, or what are the symptoms that will make you to understand that this particular thing is allergic to your own body?
Yes, thank you, sir. So such allergens, when found in food, people can develop reactions like indigestion, constipation, or having diarrhea each time you take such food. Let's take, for example, the lactose in milk.
Sugar?
Yes, the sugar in milk is called lactose.
I'm becoming a nutritionist.
Yes, you're already. So the sugar in milk is called lactose. Some people are allergic to this carbohydrate. They cannot digest it, maybe due to the fact that they don't have enzymes in their body system which can digest it, or over years they have not been taking food that contain lactose. So for example, particularly in rural areas, apart from breastfeeding, some parents cannot afford even to give powder milk to their children. So when these enzymes are dormant over years, they might not be active again in order to digest that. So we have various signs. Apart from indigestion, there can be itching around the body, there can be inflammation. You just see that, you just discover that whenever you take a particular food, you see your body swelling up,
some reddish
patches and the stuff, or your eyes is itching you have running nose, or you just feel abnormally, you are sneezing, sneezing. All these are signs of allergy. So any food that we take that is giving us all these allergenic reactions, we should avoid them in our food, because it means that the body is not accommodating them, and we need to take them off our food.
Wow, thank you so much. madam, how do you advise families? Advice in the area of how to grow their children, and then other levels of growth. What are the local remedies that you want to give to them? That, oh, in a situation like this, you can do this, you can eat this. Particularly when you look at the financial implication of some of these things, going natural, what do you advocate?
Yes. Well, God has blessed us in Nigeria. We have food in season. We have food in season. You know, for instance, what is in season now? I think we have plantain, we have cashew, we even have carrots. We have carrots.
What do you call that?
Cherry, yeah. Okay. So we have carrots. So they should, as much as possible, God has balanced it up for us. We are blessed in Nigeria. What we are suffering from is ignorance. And that is the reason why I've said earlier that we should endeavor to take the knowledge of nutrition to the grassroots through apart from the social media. Let's endeavor to contact people, you know, at the grassroots, maybe at the marketplace and the likes, the church, the mosque. Let's use that as a meal, you know, to talk to our women. Oftentimes, women, they are the ones that are in the kitchen, they are the ones that produce, that process this food for the family. So let's start from there. That's number one. But I want us I want to encourage mothers or homemakers. I want to tell them that all this high cost of living is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. You know, for instance, they can make use of food in season. They can, in fact, those food in season are cheaper compared to, you know.
They are nutritional.
And yes, they have high nutritional value compared to all this processed food. You know, so I strongly suggest that they should make use of food in season. They are readily available all around us. For instance, that this vegetable, this water leaf too, you know, very, you know, full of antioxidants. But people will look down on it. We don't value it. Even this our ewedu, we don't, you know, we look down on it. How much are they selling you? 100 naira, 200 naira. You know, so we look down on those things and they go a long way. They are loaded with antioxidants that neutralizes free radicals in the body. Some of them, they have potentials in them that, you know, that reduces inflammation. All this today is hand, tomorrow is leg, is paining me, is that. It can easily eliminate it.
Let's illustrate.
Okay.
Let's illustrate. For example, somebody who is just taking rice. What do you advise?
There are other food items.
No, I mean, even with the rice, what do you advise that they should be taken so that it can be a balanced diet?
Yes, they can introduce beans, you know, to the rice. If the person is a lover of rice, they can introduce beans and they can make it, instead of taking polished beans, they can take the ofada, because ofada contains vitamin B1, which helps our nerve. They can add vegetables.
Even carrots?
Yes, to rice and all these things.
Yes, sir.
No, you said you wanted to add there something.
Yes,
yeah.
because it is very possible, particularly when we talk about nutrition. Okay. It is possible to be in abundance and still be lacking adequate nutrients.
And that is what is happening.
That is what is happening. So it is very possible. The rural people, they are the main food production engine, but they don't have that good nutritional status. It might be, as my colleague has rightly said, they might not combine food rightly. Food complements, that is one of the principles in food.
Can you give examples of the combination that we should be having?
Yes, as he has rightly said, for example, naturally in rice lack one essential amino acid, which is very essential in the body, called lysine.
Okay.
Then this lysine is very abundant in beans.
Okay.
Meanwhile, beans lack one essential amino acid called methionine. This methionine is abundant in rice. The nature.
So combine the two.
For example,
rice and beans.
Yes.
will be a good match. So that is contribution number one. We can combine vegetables as we have rightly said. Now,
Spinach.
processing method is another thing I want to advise family.
Okay.
Some people want to cook vegetable. They will put vegetable on fire, boil it until the active ingredient gone. Vegetable turns brown.
So how many minutes do you prefer that?
Depending on the vegetable, like ugu, you don't need to blanch at all. Just, yes, rinse it, put it inside.
Before shredding it.
Yes.
You need to rinse before shredding it.
So yes.
And you now transfer it to.
So when you put it inside your stew, just give it like 2 minutes. It's okay. So it is better when you are eating your ugu and it is still crispy. You are still feeling the crunchy.
Yes, the fiber too.
So all this processing method is another important reason why people lose nutrients, even when they are eating good things. But the processing method might have lost so many things that they needed. So I also want to encourage homegrown food or garden. Let's have garden, be it small for our wedu for and this and that. And lastly, as we take our food, let's also take cognizance of exercise. You don't need to go to street before you do exercise. Exercise your body. It's as important as our food.
So much to say.
Yes.
But little time. It's been a very resourceful, interesting and educative session that we've just had. And I want to thank Mrs. Abiodun Yetunde Febajo,
Thank you, sir.
a researcher and lecturer at the
Federal College of Education, Technical Akoka, Lagos.
Former HOD and still a chief lecturer. I also like to thank Mrs. Olasumbo Ilori, food science technologist, a researcher, a nutritionist, and a public health practitioner. Well, we can't have it more than this. Time will not permit us until another time when I will have to call you, because we must be having this on a regular basis. I want to thank our viewers for this opportunity. Until next week, I'm Akin Okudero. Please balance your diet.